mental health and well-being, my weekly insights. The dreary winter months are closely approaching. Now, more than ever with COVID-19 and the restrictions, with another possible lockdown in the midst, it's really important to be mindful of our mental health and our well-being, but never more so than when the days get shorter and gloomier. Now, during the winter months, it can be hard to overcome these temptations to grind to a halt physically. As we know, inactivity for prolonged periods of time can throw everything off balance or out of harmony, from our moods to the digestion of our food and everything that goes from in between. You know, there is a seasonal affective disorder called SAD, also known as the winter blues, and it is a recognised condition. A key symptom of SAD, is a low mood that worsens as the winter months progress. But, you know, it includes things like irritability, feeling of anxiety, craving of food, and gaining on weight. So we are just about halfway through October, which means the winter is approaching fast. Now, as for me, there is some delight and hope for snowy seasons, as it uplifts my mood, creating happiness, but not for everybody. While others spend these cold months counting down the days until that warmth returns, and believe me, I like the warmth too. Either way, it is smart to protect ourselves from the potentially harm effects of the winter that it can have on our mental health. I want to share with you 10 tips that you can use to combat the laziness of the depressive thoughts that you may have and the negativity that may blow in with the cold. Whether we are aware of it or not, mental health impacts aspects of our daily lives, and it impacts every single one of us in different ways. From affecting how we think and feel to guiding the way we make decisions and interact with others, our mental health shapes everything. Aside from that, our mental health also has a direct impact on our physical health. Poor mental health can make an individual more susceptible to certain autoimmune diseases and chronic physical pains. Mental illnesses have been a reality for as long as humanity has. Fortunately, we now find ourselves in a society where we, as a whole, are more ready to discuss these issues openly, more ready to offer acceptance to the individuals in each of our lives that struggle with their mental health and well-being. It is easy to say, take care of your mind as well as your body. While we are all going through, these unprecedented times because of coronavirus, COVID-19, it is really important to be alert. The measures we put in place to tackle COVID-19 have understandably required significant adjustment for all of us in how we live and work, while some or their family members may have contracted the virus. All of this results in differing degrees of emotional stress, without a doubt. It is important to remember that it's okay to feel this way. Just simply have things in place so that you do stay out of this place of grim and darkness. I'm sure we're all finding our ways to try and deal with it, but it really hasn't been easy. So, as promised here, I want to share 10 tips with you. Number one, staying connected. Staying connected with others is one way that is helping me get through this. I live alone, and it is not, it has been so easy to fall into a hole, especially now when the weather is beginning to change and my mood is beginning to change. But being able to pick up the phone and call someone or use these virtual meetings has been an absolute lifesaver for me in many respects. So think about those things. Thankfully, we have technology to keep us connected. If possible, and the COVID restrictions do permit some flexibility, then spend time with your loved ones. It is easy to isolate yourself or hibernate during the winter, but doing so can seriously hurt your mental health. As long periods of loneliness or social isolation can lead to an increased risk of depression, difficulty in sleeping, and feeling of worthlessness. Now, I don't know about you, but camping out in the outdoors during the winter months doesn't sound like something I would like to do. But make it a point to leave your home, or at least interact with someone daily. Spend time with your friends if you can. Call your relatives and chat with your neighbours over the fence. 2, stay on top of your work routine. Many of us slack off on our fitness routines when the winter months kind of rolls into town. So cozying up on the couch or under the warm duvets with a hot chocolate is just too tempting. But it is important, however, that we find the time and motivation to exercise between, as it is vital for our mental health. So why not mind map and create a plan that helps you get in a workout, and it's scheduled in. Maybe even bribe yourself, with the heavenly cup of hot chocolate with marshmallows that we were talking about. So number 3, bundle up and go outside. I know it's cold, or it's getting cold. I'm not asking you to spend every hour of the day outside, but what I am asking is to try and think about layering up, throw on your winter coat and spend a little time outside in the air, the fresh air. It's important that you get sunlight also when you can. And I know it's hard with the decreasing in sunlight, which also means vitamin D is decreasing. And this can allow for depressive thoughts to happen. Now, vitamin D is something that I really need and I have to keep an eye on. So go for a walk if you can around the block and a stroll. Even look at sunbeds because they can give you some sort of vitamin D. Not a lot, but just a little bit. 4, book a trip or an outing if you can. If the last couple of tips weren't convincing enough to get you out of bed, maybe this one will. Plan a weekend getaway, a movie night in another town, or anything, but obviously within the restrictions of COVID. The goal here is to break up the monotony of the winter by having this periodic outing to look forward to. While on the getaway, be present in the moment, be mindful. Focus on enjoying the time rather than thinking about how much you hate the winter or what could happen, but be sensible. 5, follow a regular sleep schedule. Staying in bed all the time in the morning might sound appealing during the dreary days, but it can have a negative effect on your mental health. So instead, you should try and do your best to follow a regular sleep schedule and allocate time that's spent in bed, specifically for sleep. That way your brain is conditioned to understand that getting into bed means it's time to rest and sleep. Maintaining a schedule is essential to the mood regulation and it will help you stay happy through the winter. Number 6, count your blessings. We tend to focus on the negatives during the dark and dreary winter days, and I know I keep mentioning, but this is what the post is about. And, not being great about the cold, but what we need to do and what we should be doing is shifting our focus to the positives. And the best way to do this is by counting your blessings. See what's great about it. So I challenge you to jot down a list of everything you're thankful for that day. It's almost like a gratitude journal. This will quickly put your life into perspective and allow you to see how amazing it really is. Number 7, getting into the habit of planning. So routines. Your plans shouldn't stop you at the weekend. So, the weekend getaways. I know you may have already booked, but instead get into the habit of planning. Be intentional about the things that you want to do. the more you can intentionally plan, the more likely you'll make it through the winter seasons, that winter season emotionally intact. Number 8, and on occasion, be spontaneous. As mentioned above, following a set plan on a day-to-day basis is certainly beneficial to thriving in the winter seasons. However, everybody, including myself, needs a little bit of spontaneity in their lives, a bit of excitement. So do something each week to switch up the routine and take a different route to work or going out. Try out new classes on YouTube, eating something different that you wouldn't normally eat. You know, just chop it up a bit. 9, challenge your negative thoughts. Remember, those negative thinking habits we were thinking about earlier. Challenge them. Identify what cognitive distortions or thinking patterns are causing you to feel more down at this time. Then it is time to tackle those pesky negative thoughts. So for example, winter brings on a feeling of isolation and thoughts like, I have no one. This thought is not factual and is causing you to feel depressed. So our role is to squash it by reminding ourselves of who our family, friends and support systems are, and that we can still see them from time to time. So challenge those negative thoughts. 10, set goals and keep yourself accountable, or get someone to keep you accountable. And essentially in your well-being and maintaining a sense of accomplishment, whether it's due to a promotion or you've done some qualification online or a successful workout. Vital steps towards reaching these accomplishments and catering to our self-esteem needs is about setting those goals. So fighting through the fighting through the laziness and the lack of motivation that comes with the cold and continues to set those goals. So keep yourself accountable so that you are more likely to stick with them. This will keep you on your toes and working hard through the winter seasons. If you need be, have somebody to hold you accountable. Friends, coaches, mentors. Now I've got the tips and tools and techniques that can help you get through your keep your winter blues at bay, and by putting them in place, by creating this new mindset around dealing with the longer, darker nights and the shorter days. So if that sounds like you, book a free discovery call with me. No obligations, but I can assure you that what you will come away with is feeling more inspired, with clearer understanding of how important your mental health and well-being is now, and for the unforeseen future. Take charge of your mental well-being and not the other way around.